Another nomadic people, the Tuareg, live on the Western Sahara. They have a strong culture that's completely unique, their own language, alphabet, and a fearsome reputation for independence. The Tuareg are the guides who take travelers across the wastes, resting at oases that only they know. But in the 1990s, the all-important oases are shrinking and pasture is disappearing. 3 years of drought and overgrazing means food is running out. Goats can no longer walk, and children are starving. Cattle are now painfully thin and won't sell for much at market, so the people can't buy grain for bread. Some Tuareg are being forced to abandon their nomadic ways and move to cities to find food. Meanwhile, those that remain in the desert have to give up traveling and build irrigation schemes to survive. Hundreds of thousands of pounds from the World Bank paid for this irrigation scheme designed to grow rice. For a year, all was well, but then the water dried up. Now it's 30 kilometers away. Irrigation water used to come from Lake Chad, once a great lake the size of Wales. But for the last 20 years, there's been hardly any rain. Lake Chad provides for over 1 million people from 4 countries, Nigeria, Niger, Cameroon and Chad, who live by and around the lake. They farm the fertile land and gather the once abundant fish stocks. The northern part of the lake has disappeared, leaving fishing villages like Liwa stranded 100 kilometers away from water. In fact, the whole lake has shrunk to 1/10 of its former size, as this ITN report shows.
This fisherman comes from Niger. His country's portion of the lake dried up long ago, so he plies his trade in Chadian waters. It's still apparently rewarding. On board he has a full sack full of catfish. There's enough fish, it seems, for the moment.
There used to be many floating fish markets all around the lake. Now there's just one held once a week for the people who remain. The lake used to be divided into national areas. Now it's too small for that to be worthwhile. As the lakeside villages have been abandoned, so the market has become as much a community centre as a place to buy and sell. It is predicted that Lake Chad will dry out altogether within the next 5 years. Drought isn't the only reason it's shrinking. Nigeria and Cameroon have pumped out billions of litres to solve their own water shortages. Nobody imagined that the effects would be so catastrophic. The people of Lake Chad are moving to the nearby city N'Djamena, the capital of Chad.
The people that are suffering from desertification are poor people. They're people that live in poverty, they live hand to mouth. They don't have a lot of surplus wealth to invest in their land. If they did, desertification wouldn't be happening.
Life is hard. Life expectancy is only 46, and 1 in 6 children dies before the age of 1. As deserts spread, so does pressure on people to find ways to survive. The situation can get so desperate that people have no choice but to have more children in the hope that some at least will survive to work to feed the family. Too many people are trying to live off ever-diminishing resources.